Okay, so today we're making clams in a white wine, lemony butter sauce, like steamers with some bread. We're gonna dip it in and we're gonna eat a big bowl of it. And it's gonna be really good. So we're gonna start we're gonna clean our clams. Very loud. So these clams are like super sandy, so we definitely have to clean them. We're just gonna bring them to the sink and I'll show you how to clean them. So we filled our clams up with some cold water, kind of swished them around a bit, and now we're gonna add some salt, a good amount of salt, and some cornmeal in this water to kind of encourage the clams to spit out any sediment or like sandiness that they might have. And we're just gonna let that soak with this mixture in there for about 20 minutes. So while our clams are soaking, we're just gonna chop up our shallot and a bunch of garlic that we're gonna use to steam the clams. So I'm just gonna cut up all of our garlic now, and I think I'm gonna do like 6 or 8 cloves, or yeah, you could just put however much you want, but I'm gonna do 6. I'll just get rid of all this stuff. And I love this purple garlic, it's just so cute. I'm just gonna smash them all. Cut them all up. Some people like say you can peel a bunch of garlic by shaking it up in a bowl, and actually at first I never thought that actually works, but it actually does work. Like 2 metal bowls shaking it, but for something like 6 cloves I feel like it's not really necessary. We could just peel it ourselves. Also, peeled garlic sucks. Don't buy peeled garlic. It's just not right. It's just not. Right, Joe?
Yep.
Right. Okay. And you can, like, if you want, you can thinly slice the garlic, or you can mince it, like whatever you really want to do. I think today I want to mince it. Sometimes I'm into sliced garlic, sometimes I'm into minced garlic. I don't know. I gotta wash my hands. And the thing about making like these kind of like either like steamed mussels or steamed clams, you really don't have to add a lot to them to make it like the most delicious like broth. Really just wine, garlic, shallots, butter, and you have a delicious broth just from basically the natural seasoning of like the clams itself, like the sea. Tastes like the sea, and you don't have to really do anything. Oh, also herbs. And I think today we're just gonna do parsley, but actually dill is really good in something like this with the parsley. Not traditional, not something you see a lot, but it is really good. If you have dill, throw it in. Okay. I'm going to cut up this loaf of bread. We'll just slice it in half, because you have to have crusty bread if you're having clams or mussels or whatever, because you gotta get that good broth dipped with the bread. Actually, bread with the broth is probably almost my favorite part, more so than the clams itself. Where is my serrated knife? Ah. So I'm just going to cut this, hopefully, oh shit. I'm gonna cut this down the middle as evenly as we can. There we go. Ooh. And I'm just going to place it on the sheet tray for later. That will toast the bread, like more so when the clams are almost done. But we have it prepped. So our clams have been soaking for about 20 minutes, and we're just gonna pour out the rest of the liquid now because it's all good to go. And you just wanna check your clams and make sure none of them are open. If any of them are open, you just wanna throw those away because those could be dead or, you know, just not good to eat. And yeah, then you have a nice cleaned clam all ready to go. Any of these are, I don't think they're, any of them are dead.
Wegmans.
Wegmans is good. Okay. And if you get a little cornmeal in your thing, like, it's not gonna hurt you. It's fine. It's great. Okay. So now we can start cooking them. And I'm just gonna cook it in a big, like, cast iron pot thing. I mean, you don't have to be cast iron, but just a big pot that'll fit all your clams. And we're just gonna turn on our pot. And you definitely wanna use butter for this because butter is what makes the sauce so good. So we're just gonna add a good amount of butter at the bottom. And I have my butter bell, which I actually have to refill, but this is so good. Keeps your room temperature butter all nice and fresh with the addition of a little bit of water that creates like a suction for the butter. So smart. Okay, so that's melting. Once that's melted, we're just gonna add in our aromatics, and then we'll be well on our way to actually already being done with this, which is amazing. It's a fast dish. That's why it's also great for summer. It's a summer quick thing. You don't have your stove on for a long time, and it's a crowd pleaser. So our butter's all melted, and we're just gonna add in the shallots and the garlic and just let that sweat down. And I'm just gonna also add a little bit of salt and pepper, but you don't wanna add too much salt to this part because your broth can easily get really salty because of all the natural salt that's in the clam. So you just wanna start off with just a touch, and you can always add more once you've cooked all the clams and everything in the sauce. But I do like to add a little salt just for the sweating process, just to get that going. Now we're just gonna dump all of our clams into our pot. Just like that. And then we're gonna add a good glug of any white wine you got, just not like a sweet white wine. You want something dry. And I'm probably gonna add, I don't know, like a cup or so, just wherever your heart tells you to stop. That's pretty good. See it, as you can see, it like comes up maybe like halfway up, I'd say. Right, Jeff? Like it's like a halfway up. Just so that it has enough to steam it and you have a nice amount of sauce. Because the clams themselves are also going to release a lot of liquid, so you don't need to cover them. And so now we're just gonna wait for this to come to a boil, the wine, and then we're gonna cover it, and then we're gonna let them cook until they open up.
No.
Oh. The good thing about living on the East Coast is that we have a lot of fresh seafood like this. I'm from Chicago, and usually stuff like this you can't even really get, and they're not of high quality or anything, but here in New Jersey, we got it. We got it. Look, it's coming to a boil now. You can see there's simmering happening. We're boiling, so at this point, I'm just going to cover this up, and then we're gonna let it cook until everything is opened. And that's probably gonna be like what? I don't know, 5 minutes? It could be 10 minutes? 10 minutes? Yeah.
Maybe less.
We'll see. But yeah, it's quick. It's very quick. So while the clams are cooking, I'm just going to drizzle this with a little bit of olive oil. You could do butter on this too, but I kind of like the bread being olive oil and the sauce being butter. That's just me. And we're just gonna add a little bit of pepper to this. Just a little bit of simple toast. All the flavor is gonna be from the clam broth, so we don't really need to add too much. But pepper's nice. Should I put salt? No, right? I don't think you need salt. Okay. Then I'm just going to broil this in the oven till it's nice and toasty. Don't let me forget about that, because I always forget about toast. Okay. Who doesn't, right? Everyone burns toast. Ah, we remembered our bread, and this is good to me. Or should we toast it a little more? More, maybe. Let's push it. I actually like a little bit of burntness. What can I say? I think burnt toast is good. I don't think our clams are done yet. You can always take a peek just to see if they're opening up. You don't want to open it up a lot because you don't want the steam out, but you just take a little. See, look at all the liquid that's actually coming out of the clams themselves. And as you can see, they're not cooked, so we cover that up. just let them keep seating. I think it's only been like, what, 3 minutes? But yeah, it's going good. Okay, that's better. Nice and toasted. And who doesn't love a good sesame seeded semolina bread? Delish. Actually, I should do a video on that, semolina bread. I've never done that. That would be a good video. Okay, so I think it's all good to go. Yep, all of our clams are basically opened up. I just like to then turn off it and then leave the cover on for just like a minute or two just to see if there's any random ones that haven't opened yet, and then we'll know for sure if they haven't opened, we can discard them because they're probably no good or dead or whatever. So yeah, we'll just leave that for a second more and then we'll check it again. Okie dokie, so we let it rest a little bit longer, see if anything else was going to open up. And now I'm going to just make sure there's nothing that's not open, because we're going to throw those away because that's dead and we can't eat that. And I'm also going to just take out all the clams to the bowl here so that we can finish off the sauce, and then we'll put the clams back in to reheat them. But as you can see, like this one is not open, so we're just going to just discard it. Don't want to risk it. Take out all the clams. There's a lot of clams. We have a lot of clams for 2 people. Okay, so now we've removed all of our clams. I'm just going to turn the heat back on for a second because we're just going to finish up the broth here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a good amount of butter. Basically, all I'm really going to do is add butter, melt it into there, and then we'll check it for salt and pepper, and that's really all I'm going to put in there.
Parsley.
Oh yeah, we're going to add parsley, but I was just going to put that on top. Right? Or do you think it should be in the sauce?
No.
We need more butter. Okay, I'm adding more butter because that wasn't enough. So probably like a half a stick of butter in here. I know it's a lot, but it's good. It's gonna be good. White wine and butter. You can't go wrong with that. See, it's good. We didn't add salt. Much salt to anything else because clams themselves, they give up enough natural saltiness. Maybe I'll just add a little butter. I mean, pepper. Pepper? Just a touch. But other than that, I think it's good. And you can make this part, you can add as much butter, like if you want it richer, you can add a little more butter. You can put as much as you want. You're not going to ruin it. Or you can make it lighter with less butter. But that's it. And then we're obviously going to serve lemons on the side too. For squeezing. Right? Okay. So now I'm just going to put all of our clams back into our broth. And stir it around a bit if we can. Just to get them all nestled into that good broth again. And then with something like this, I just like to serve it in the big pot that it was cooked in, because there's really, I feel like it looks nice. There's no need to put in anything else. And it actually will stay warmer for longer because it's a warm pot, keeping it all together. So we got that. So I'm just gonna bring it over here to our other side. And we're just gonna chop up some parsley next, and that'll be it. Then we can eat it. And I say put a good amount of parsley. I think that freshness is really good in here. The herbaceous is, oh yeah, and actually you could really put any herbs you have on hand. Like I was saying earlier, dill would also be good. But I think parsley is essential. All the other ones, it's just like if you have them, throw them in. I could say you never have too much herbs. Okay. Doesn't have to be crazy, And then we're just going to put it all over the top, just like this. And it'll all get into the sauce and everything. Make it super good. And then I'm just going to tear off or cut up a little bit of our bread, and it'll be perfect. And you can just serve your bread on top like this, all rustic, or you could just leave it on the side. And that's it. The perfect sharing, like fun little appetizer drinking food that you can ever have. Perfect for summer. Just gonna take some out, put it in our bowl. You wanna make sure you get all that good juice and the lemon. Then you have your bread. And then you just go at it. And you crush the whole thing. That's good eating. Have some.